Well, it is such a wonderful privilege, actually, to be with you all. Are we pretty much, is everyone that's going to be here tonight is here? Pretty close?
Well, I don't know because there's still some people who still working now. And but I think we can just start.
Sure.
And those who are not here, they'll be informed and we'll tell them what we discussed. And
Very
then,
good.
So...
Yeah.
Let me introduce you first, and then, okay, we are very happy to be with Reverend Dan Collado this evening. He's the director for the program that we are going to start here. And so, Mr. Dan Collado, those are students in this church, and other students will be maybe next time. But I know that today is our first day to discuss what we are going through. And we are very thankful, we are very grateful to see you this evening with us. So you are very welcome in this school. And thank you for this initiative that you gave us to this church. So we appreciate a lot to be with you today and to start this new program in this course. So you are very welcome and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we can start our program.
All right.
Maybe before I can introduce some of these people,
Yes.
We have Brother Martin there. He's in charge here for the social work in this church. We have our secretary, whose name is Nyakambili John. He's the secretary of the church. We have Pastor Thomason. He's my co-worker, my assistant pastor. The name is Baringene Thomason. We have our brother Papi. He's one of the intercessory member here. And we appreciate a lot his effort here. We have my Madam Eugenie Fumilia. She's in charge of the evangelical in the life of the church here. And we have brother Eugene. So he's the husband for Eugenia. So he's Eugenia and he's Eugene. And so it's a couple who has the same name. He's the one who is in charge in the administration in this church. And we have Brother Ramazani Makerere. He's the one in charge of the Father's Ministry. And we have Brother Trezor. He's the one who is in charge of exhortation in the church here.
Excellent.
So you are all very welcome to this session and God bless you so much.
Thank you. Well, it is an absolute privilege and pleasure to be able to be here tonight. I know that it was Pastor Cal Anthony, who perhaps you're familiar with, who introduced myself and your pastor to each other, and thought that perhaps what I'm doing now and the ministry that I'm involved in may be of assistance to the body of Christ that's here in this place, in this building. And so when I met with your pastor, we talked about the opportunities and the potential of what we call Aboriginal Bible Academy. Now I know that typically that might seem like, well, that doesn't necessarily really apply to us. But if you understand sort of our history, our heart and mandate initially was to provide Indigenous leadership for our Aboriginal people here in Canada. But yet, the curriculum that we actually use is not culture specific, and so really it lends itself very well, particularly to those that are new to Canada. Perhaps it allows a very wide variety and range of learning ability and schooling. We have actually had individuals that have been professional nurses to a lady who is 67 years old, never graduated from public school, never finished grade 8, actually took this course. She wanted to take it for credit because she wanted to take the exam just to see how she did. She went into it with fear and trepidation. She was nervous, not having gone to school in oh my goodness, must be pushing 50-some years. and she graduated from, she finished the Synoptic Gospels course, The Life and Teachings of Christ, with a 92%.
Wow.
So she was quite excited for an individual who thought that she was past her prime, hadn't gone to school in such a long time, never went very far in school, and yet we've had the same course being taken by people who have been in school for perhaps most of their lives. And so it lends itself to a wide variety of those that, whether they think they're geniuses or scholastically challenged. That's one of the reasons why we have really gravitated to this, using it for our own Aboriginal people here in Canada. But we're finding an increasing number of individuals, such as this church, who are interested in leadership training, Christian maturity and discipleship that goes beyond just regular church growth and maturity, but developing leadership within the church. The curriculum has enough, if I can use a colloquialism, it has enough meat to it that there is a leadership value to it. Even pastors who have perhaps never really had any opportunity or real opportunity to take some official training are taking our courses. And so there's meat to it, there's substance. And to mark that, we do offer diploma programs. Now, for here in our instance, what we're going to focus on is what's called the Ministerial Studies Diploma. I'm going to hand out, you can take, so you can take one each, and inside what you'll see is really a description highlighting our 4 diploma programs. But what I want you to take note of is the very first one. On the inside there is the Ministerial Studies Diploma Program. I'll take it. Thanks. And it just highlights the course, or what this diploma program accomplishes. We want to highlight on this one because the Bible and Doctrine Diploma that you see there on the inside, as well as the Specialized Ministries Diploma, all the core courses that are in the Specialized Ministries Diploma and the Bible and Doctrine Diploma are actually contained inside the Ministerial Studies Diploma. And so, if I could say, this is the best bang for the buck, is the Ministerial Studies Diploma. It's been quite effective in developing church leadership, and I know that that is your pastor's heart and desire, that he reproduces himself and that he has leaders coming up underneath him. And so one of the courses that is in the Ministerial Studies Diploma is this Synoptic Gospels, the Life and Teaching of Christ. Now, I have distributed and given out some of these other courses, example courses, sample courses. Just to remind you, I'll, in case I forget, I need those back. But it's just to kind of highlight and give you a sense as to what the curriculum kind of looks like. All the courses are in this format. They're made up of this one book. Now, I made mention earlier how some of the older versions that some have there have a white booklet inside of it. They're slowly replacing that curriculum to this newer version that is, it's all self-contained in this one book. And so there's no longer that white booklet. But the contents, the information, the course content is still the same. But one of the great advantages of this of these courses is it's very customizable in how it's taught, how it's received, and really the rate in which the learning is happening, the speed of it. Because what happens in your enrollment, you actually would enroll in a course. Even though you might have a diploma program in mind, I want to get the Ministerial Studies diploma program, how we actually function and administer the whole enrollment process is that you actually enroll in a course. And then you complete that course, and then you can move on to the next course, and so on, and so on, and so on. Or actually, it's free to the point where you can enroll in as many courses as you want at one time. If someone was so inclined and had nothing else to do, they could enroll in 4, 5, or 6 courses all at once. I wouldn't recommend that because one of the requirements is once you enroll in a course, once that enrollment date has been established, you have 6 months to complete that course. So obviously, the more courses you start at once, you have a whole bunch of courses coming due all at once. And so we found the best way, obviously, is to do one course at a time. And depending upon the facilitator's time and the student's time, will determine how quickly you can move through a course. But the maximum time you have is 6 months. Now there is an opportunity to extend that to another 6 months, but of course there's an extension fee attached to that. But we'll touch on fees in just a little bit. But as you can see, the whole course, this is called an IST, or an Independent Study Text. And the whole course is in here. These courses were originally developed to be an independent study text, like correspondence, where a person, an individual, could do this all by themselves. There's the content in here, and the way that it's set up is in such a way that there's not it's not necessary to have a qualified teacher, professor, to go through the course. However, we have found in our experience that the best way of absorbing the information and receiving and teaching is in a group setting where you have an opportunity of at least one time a week getting together and reviewing or going through perhaps the chapter or section that you may have done that week. It gives an opportunity for feedback and interaction, asking questions, and certainly when you have the availability of a facilitator who is whether it's your pastor or recognized leader, then there's that opportunity of asking questions, and you can have that extra dynamic of a teacher-pupil type setting, which would be normal in a regular school class setting. And so we find that obviously when there is that opportunity where we have a facilitator that would look after that, getting the students together, that the retention and the understanding of the course and its curriculum is just that much more magnified and better. But we do have students who are doing courses all by themselves. But we also have students that are completely on the other side of the spectrum where they are almost in like a school situation. We have a training center that operates in Vancouver, British Columbia. And the facilitator there, the lady there, she operates it almost like a Bible school, where they'll come for a set period of time and they'll go through their courses. There have been some situations where she's even had them doing 2 to 3 courses at once. But it was a unique situation in that the students had enough time to do that. They were almost like full-time students. But not every situation is like that, and that's what makes these courses, these diploma programs, so helpful, is that they can be flexible depending on the availability and how much time you can give to it. Now I know that with myself being so close, that there will be opportunity for myself to come. I know that your pastor and I can talk about that as to how we can facilitate that, the timing of that. But concerning the curriculum itself, you enroll per each course. Now the ministry's diploma program, or the ministerial studies diploma, there's about, now my memory is faltering, it's about 27, 28 courses for the diploma program. There's about, they actually split it up in different levels. I'm wondering if what I want to do here. How about, can I ask you to hand out one sheet to each person? This is actually another brochure that we have, but I didn't bother printing out the whole brochure, just the inside cover. And the information that's on there highlights the courses that are involved in the Ministerial Studies Diploma, which is the ones that we'll be concerned with here. Thank you. And you can see that the Ministerial Studies Diploma, they've split it up into 3 levels, level 1, level 2, and then your advanced level, or level 3. And as you can see there, the very first one says Synoptic Gospels, which is the life and teaching of Christ. That's this course right here. Thank you. That's this course right here. And you can see, as you follow down, you can see the rest of the courses that are necessary to complete in order for there to be a receiving of the diploma, the Ministerial Studies Diploma. I'm wondering if there are, before I move on to something else or into another area, are there any questions so far about what I've said? If anything's kind of sparked your mind about something? Yes?
Yes, I just have one question. I would like to know, how long does this program take? And also, I would like to know if you need this brochure, because I'm taking notes.
Oh, okay. No, you don't need that brochure. I don't need that brochure back. You can keep that.
Okay.
The length of the course is all dependent upon the time that you can put into it. From enrollment, you have 6 months to complete. By completion, now we have, that really is only an issue, the 6-month date of length of time is really only an issue if an individual is taking it for credit. There's also the option here of taking any one of these courses by auditing it. Now, all that auditing means is that you're not required and don't have to. You don't get to take the exam, and you don't have to fulfill the required service, or the service learning requirement. And so you can just, you have the same curriculum, same course. You get to go through it all. You just don't have to write the exam, and you don't have to do the service learning requirement. However, obviously, you don't receive credit, and then at the end, there won't be a diploma if you complete all the other courses. So that's the most significant difference between the auditing and the taking it for credit. If but like I said, the length of time it all depends. I mean, we have students that are just scraping to get it done in 6 months. And yet we have students that are done in half the time. In 3 months they're done. It's all dependent upon how much time, whether the individual or the group as a whole has in order to get through the curriculum. The requirements for each course is pretty much exactly the same. With any course that is taken, you have to write, and this is assuming you're taking it for credit. You have a final exam. There's just one exam. Now, through the, actually it's in the older versions, there's that white booklet. There you'll see kind of like test questions and example responses. It's just sort of helping you mark your way as to your progress going through the course, so you don't get to the end of the course and have no idea if you know the right things or not. What they've done now in the new version is incorporate that white booklet into this one booklet. So all the curriculum is still the same, the material is the same, it's just they've incorporated the 2 books now into one. But that walks you through the process, giving you sample questions, you know, about through the exam. The exam is the same for, the exam format is the same for all the courses. It's 50 multiple choice questions. There are no essay questions. It's all multiple choice. And that's the final exam. There's only the one exam. It's the final exam at the end. There's one service requirement, or service learning requirement. It used to be called the Pass It On assignment, but it's now called the service learning requirement. And it's not marked, but it is a requirement for each one of the courses that you have to fulfill and do, and it's just a pretty simple form. You typically you're given either 1 to 3 options that you can do. Some of them are fairly practical, like I know for the Synoptic Gospels, what used to be called the Pass It On assignment, you could choose from 1 of 3 options. One of them was kind of basically illustrate or write down your witnessing effort, you know, in some occasion that you had. And so it asks you for, you know, who the person was, not necessarily their name, but if it was a work-related or family-related. What did you do? How did you try to formulate your witness to them? What was their response? And all that service learning requirement it's not graded, but it is necessary for the graders of the exam and the graders of the people that give out the marks for the course. Is that they need enough feedback to see if there was enough of an interaction with you and the course. So it just kind of gives them an understanding, a little bit of feedback as to, depending on how you filled that out, if, okay, yes, that was satisfactory. I can tell that they put some time into this course. It's not it's not marked, as I said. They don't send it back to you. But it's a requirement, and it has to be submitted, or else they don't release the final exam marks. But anyway, it's a pretty simple process, but it's just a way that they're able to monitor the quality of the student taking the curriculum. If you're getting a sense here, we, as in myself, we don't mark the exams. This curriculum didn't come from us. It's actually, as you can see down here, Global University out of the United States with the Assemblies of God in the States. And we've been given permission here in Canada as being the distributors of this curriculum. we've been searching for a long time, particularly for our Aboriginal brothers and sisters here in Canada, for something that would be suitable for them. A lot of